I'm a guy who loves numbers. From when I was really young to now, I love everything about numbers. And the greatest thing about numbers and myself is that you could use numbers in sports, you could use numbers in the stock market, you can use numbers in life. Numbers revolve around everything that we do. Now, the way I look at the market is different from most everybody. I look for patterns, I look for volume, I look for demand. I don't use algorithms, I don't use anything more complex than my phone. But I do it so that I can share the information that I see. So I can simplify what I'm seeing so that others can learn from it. Because not everybody comes from Wall Street. As a kid, I was crazy. I loved sports and I was extremely social. Now I have an older brother and he was completely the opposite. He used to design computer programs. He used to keep to himself. I wanted to do everything with everybody. And most of all, I always wanted to be liked. So I always did my best at whatever it was because I wanted people to appreciate me. But I can tell you, each and every day, I want to be a better person than I was the day before. Now, it doesn't matter if I'm talking about trading or just being with my kids or cooking dinner or, doing chores around the house. I want to be more efficient. I don't want to waste my time. And of course, we want to make money. I'm a giver, so you have two things in life. You could be a giver or a taker. A taker wants to improve their status. A giver is someone who wants to improve other people. I'm a giver with my ex-wife. I'm a giver with my kids. I try and give more than I take because it makes sense to me. I also believe heavily in karma. I believe things happen for a purpose or a reason. If you had ever asked me years ago if I'd be on YouTube or be talking to people on Twitter or any other platform, I would have told you you were crazy. But it's amazing. COVID brought about changes for everybody. There are a ton of new people trading in the marketplace, and I'm thinking, what can I do to help people the best? I'm here to give you value. I'm here to simplify. I'm here to be honest and transparent. But I've got a self-destructive nature. It means when things are going well for me, I do certain things to put obstacles in my way, to hinder me from reaching whatever goal it is. We all do it. We do it when we're trading. We do it in life. We're not sure if we want to break up with the other person, so we might say something and then the other person might be forced to break up with us, right? It's not our decision, it was their decision. So the same is true for trading. You're looking at something and you're like, I think it's going higher, I want to secure a profit, and then like a PR story comes out and says, somebody lowered their price target on your stock and it should go down. And you're like, there's my excuse to sell. I thought it was going higher and it still is going to go higher. But you make up an excuse to fall into the same self-destructive behavior. Anything to make a buck back in the day, mighty dollar. I was 14, I had a lot of money, okay? I was 15, 16, I was an entrepreneur. There was a blackout in New York City once. My parents owned a promotional products company. So they put logos on things. So for that holiday season, they were going to give out flashlights with their logo on it. And I was like, okay, cool idea. Then New York City had a blackout. So what does my entrepreneur mind say? Call up my best friend. We took the 500 flashlights, went to the corner of 72nd Street and 1st, and I sold them for $20 a piece. $3 flashlights, $20 a piece. Supply and demand. Make money, the almighty dollar. Now the funny thing about this story is, at the end of the evening when we were almost sold out, people were coming up to us and they're like, hey, you guys have lighters? Do you guys sell batteries? Like thinking we were like a corner store. We were on the corner, but we were in a store. Okay, so the almighty dollar. Then I go to college, enjoy my college years. I had to pay for college playing blackjack. I got partial scholarship, but I'm still coming from a blue collar family, middle class. I had to come up with about $40,000 a year. I had a summer, I must have been 20 at the time, that I had a trip and I made over $125,000 in one night playing blackjack. That was it. I was on a crazy run. I understand numbers, and I said, okay, I'm gonna pay off my college, which I did, and then I went back to campus, and from that day forward, they called me Lucky. I have a tattoo on my back, a little tramp stamp, means lucky. I try not to show it off because those are dating back to like 1988. Okay, anyway, so we're back to the almighty dollar. Now, I'm graduating college, and my first job offer was to be a SOS trader. Now, this is something called Short Order Execution System. It's an abbreviation. So SOS trading basically meant when you traded a stock, it used to go by quarter points. So the stock was $10 and a quarter. Then the next move up would be $10 and a half, $10 and three quarters, $11. There was no decimal, there was no .00, whatever it is, like with crypto now. So SOS traders used to be middlemen. So I would take his shares that he wants to sell at 10 and a quarter, and I would sell it to this gentleman for $10. Or did I reverse that? I would buy them for $10 and I would sell them for 10 and a quarter, making 25 cents per share. Now here's the tough thing. I graduated college in 1996, okay? They outlawed SOS trading in July of 1996. So the job that I was gonna start in August became obsolete at the end of July. And the terrible news is, I was telling my friends how much money I was gonna make. I was telling my parents that I was gonna have a bigger house than them. And I looked so silly. So what did I do? I went to work for one bank, it might have been JP Morgan, then I worked for Morgan Stanley, then I worked for Greenwich Capital, then I worked for D.E. Shaw. So I would go through jobs because I wanted more money. So you asked me the question, it was about the almighty dollar. I would work at a company, and 6 months into it, my headhunter would call me up and she would say, hey Matt, I got a better job for you. And I would say, better job, you mean more money? And she says, of course, 30% more. Now what I didn't understand at the time is, these headhunters, maybe they make the same now, they were making 2 months of my salary. So they would place me someplace, and if I was there for 5 months, they would collect their money. So they would place me someplace, and then she would just call me the next day, place me someplace else. And when I would go in for an interview, I would nail the interview. I knew exactly what they wanted to hear me say. It was back when I worked for NatWest. I was at, was it 45 Wall Street? No, Water Street. Something Water Street. Okay, it was a great building, great building. I would get there at 6 in the morning. I would do my job for 2 hours. Then I would order breakfast on the company. We'd all eat breakfast. After breakfast, I would do my job for another hour. At about 10:30 every day, I would head across the street to the gym. Yeah, this is back in the day when I actually worked out. I would head to the gym, work out for an hour and a half, take a shower, come back, order lunch on the company. We would do this in our department. And then I would order a car service around 2:30 to take me home from Wall Street to the Upper East Side, which is where I was living at the time. All right, 2 points here. First, I was very good at my job, so I was able to do what other people did in 8 hours down to about an hour and a half, and I took advantage of it. Remember, I wanted to make money, I wanted to live the life, okay? Now, the second thing I wanted to share about my experience working for NatWest was after I left that company, my department got sold to another business because we lost $32 million that quarter. Keep in mind, breakfast on the company, lunch on the company, car service on the company, each and every day. That was a really good 5 months in my life.